Right. I want you to watch this video. It's a very short clip, but I want you to take a look at what this lady does. She's angry. She's going to walk up to the man and do something. I want you to watch it. I'm going to freeze it just at the point at which she does what she's going to do. I won't let you watch the end, and then I'm going to just make a few comments. Then I'll play the rest and let you watch what happened after she did what she did. All right. You've seen what she did. She went up to the gentleman. Obviously there was some disagreement and she wasn't happy. She walked up to him looking very upset, and then she slaps him. So what do you think about that? That's my question to you. Of course, like I said, I've frozen it. I didn't let you see what happened after she did slap him. You can tell they're speaking a language that they're obviously from somewhere in Eastern Europe. Maybe, the language sounds like all this Slovakian, Russian, something like that. So they're definitely not from where you could call the West, like America or England or things like that. So anyway, you notice she hits him in the face, right? And we've frozen it. Now you're going to watch the rest and see what happened after she hit him. And there's a reason why I did it this way. So let's watch what happened after she hit him.
Олег, блядь. Не провоцируй.
Че, сука ебаная.
Олег, уйди. Уйди оттуда.
Не провоцируй, я, блядь, говорил же тебе, блядь.
All right. I'm sure I don't know. In terms of expectations, I don't know how many of you watching this would have expected what you now saw that he did in response. But I'm sure you'll agree with me that it's not every day you see that kind of a reaction in today's modern world from a man who a woman has slapped. Indeed, it's very rare these days, especially in the Western, in areas of the world that have been influenced by the West, to see these overly aggressive women who are so quick to slap men have the men respond in the manner you saw this gentleman respond. So clearly he's not how do I put it now, influenced, okay, in his behavior by what the media in the West and all the movement of feminism try to project onto men. That's why you saw the response. The response was a very vicious slap right in her face that lifted her off her feet and deposited her right in front of another gentleman who was witnessing the argument, but he was seated. I want you to also notice that man, as well as obviously some other people who were around in there, because there were other people there, they just not weren't shown in the camera. That man did not even move a muscle, literally did not move a muscle. Not to say, hey, why did you do that, or get up and try and defend her and challenge him. He was like, well, you got what you deserved. He didn't even, he just was indifferent. Now that's another thing. The man who responded with the return slap, viciously delivered, and the man who was within the range of the camera, who sat unconcerned. He wasn't about to even help her get up to her feet. He wasn't about to challenge the man who slapped her. He was just like, man, you sort yourself out. You started it. You deal with the consequences. Then look at the behavior of the woman. It was like this thing that our comedians do, where they play the windows and shut down background music. No. It was like a brain reset. She just came back from planet whatever she was on, if it was Jupiter, and came back right down to planet Earth. It was like, wow, I think I overstepped my bounds. Let me just arrange myself and get out of the way before I get killed. That was the kind of thing that happened. Now, I watched a video in which Jordan Peterson was talking about different kinds of men and explaining why it was not wise, or it is not wise for any man to choose to let women walk all over him, and why women actually need what he called, quote unquote, a dangerous man to really put them in their place sometimes. And that when a man is not in that his dangerous element, he's not likely to be exhibiting the kind of masculinity that will work in him managing a relationship with a female, especially the kind of females that tend to be aggressive. I agree with these guys in all these things they've said, okay? And I'm talking based on my personal experience as a person who was on the receiving end of extreme forms of physical and other kinds of abuse, emotional, psychological abuse from an ex-partner. The only thing I'll say is that, and I just want to throw this in my own circumstance, because there were kids involved, there were kids around, and these kids potentially could have gotten hurt if I had chosen to go that way over the years that this thing was happening. And also because I saw that the person with whom I was having this issue was actually looking for the opportunity to make me behave in that way, so as to then use that as a basis to get third parties to see me as being a violent and abusive person, physically violent and abusive person. That was why I restrained myself. Not that I would have done it normally, but even if I wanted to, that thought kept me in check. I knew what she wanted. I knew she was trying to push me to that point. You see, you've got to understand, the minute you let yourself get provoked to the point where you lose control, you've lost it. You've lost the upper hand. So, yes, in this case, this man loved it. I think it was appropriate, and he had in his environment people that were not just witnesses, or people whose behavior, their response to what he did, passed a message, a very clear message to the woman that it was not going to be a wise thing for her to do anytime again, then or in the future. But what is my overall message on this? It's simple. It's to ladies, especially the ladies that have been influenced by the feminist West. Before you decide to slap that guy, whoever it might be, anytime after today, after you've watched this video, before you decide to slap any man, make sure you check and confirm that that man feels bound by the informal rules that guide or bind men in your part of the world where you feel entitled to do that to men. There's another video I shared in which I showed a lady who was saying that her mother told her that any woman who is man enough to hit a man is man enough to get hit, and that she told that the lady was saying that her mother told her brothers who had her sons, the mother's sons, that any woman who is man enough to hit you is man enough to get hit back.
Men hitting women. I just watched a video. This woman was hitting this guy. I mean, hitting him seriously, knocking him over the head, and he walking away. He just taking the blows and walking away. Taking the blows and walking away. I salute that man because he did not hit her back. Okay? Alright, so serious question. My mama told my brothers, if a woman is man enough to hit you, she man enough to get hit back. Okay? I'm a little biased because if my son don't hit you, don't hit him. But if you're walking around and you hit him, what am I supposed to tell my son? His daddy tell him not to hit women. But I'm just like, I don't want my son to be like that guy. What do y'all tell y'all kids?
Okay, so first and foremost, wow, she's fucking beautiful. Jesus Christ. But let's just say this. Y'all, I don't know why this isn't taught a lot. We teach guys so much. Don't hit women. Respect women. Don't do this. Don't do that. But why aren't we telling women the same thing? Women can talk however they want to men. Women can get in guys' faces. Women can fucking jump at a guy, call him a bitch, all this stuff, and what are you going to do about it? And he has to stand there and take it. Women can hit a man, and if a man hits her back, it's still his fault. What? I'm sorry, but if you are in an argument with somebody and you have to hit them to get your point across because you don't like what they're saying, get some therapy, baby. Get some therapy. Because if you're not fighting professional, baby, put it away. You ain't Mike Tyson. Take it easy. I'm going to say something. If it's my son and he comes home to me with a black eye or something wrong with his face and it's a girl he's dating, mama's hands are ready to eat for everybody. You could be younger, whatever the issue is, I'm going to solve the issue by decking you in your fucking mouth, and then your mom can come over and I'll deck her in the mouth. Because no one's going to touch my sons. Same thing with my daughters. But I'm also going to implement my sons this or tell them this shit. If a girl keeps constantly hitting you or putting her hands on you, you need to leave. That is not the girl for you. Because even if you aren't a guy who hits women, eventually you're going to hit her because you're tired of that shit and you don't want to get hit anymore. And it's reactive abuse. Reactive abuse. Trust me, I know. I've been there. Reactive abuse. You can be abused so much that you finally fucking snap. And the last thing I want is my son to get in a habit of hurting people or hitting women. So ladies, the moral of the story, teach your fucking daughters to keep their hands to themselves. I don't care how mad they are. I don't care what the guy did. Keep your fucking hands to yourself, ladies, unless you're ready to get socked in your mouth or thrown against the fucking wall, because not every man is raised to not touch women. Some of these men don't even have moms to teach them that shit. Some of these men were raised by people off the streets, and not to be disrespectful, but it's true. Please, ladies, stop putting your fucking hands on people. Unless you want to get that two-piece combo from KFC, bitch.
If there's anything that one should get worried about in today's world, it's the entitlement mentality that women have. They know they cannot match most men physically, because biology makes it impossible for them to be able to physically win in an altercation with a man. They then depend on the rules set down by society, in which literally men are supposed to overlook anything women do to them, including abuse, whether physical or otherwise. And then they use that, they take advantage of that to inflict abuse deliberately on men whenever they have some grievance they say they have with the man. So many men are forced to accept it because they don't want to be seen as being violent or abusive toward the woman, because even after the woman has hit you, you are expected to just take it. But the thing is, that is actually damaging the men who are on the receiving end of that. And that's why we are having today what I call a pandemic of weak men. Okay, I call them wimps, women in men's pants. You know, the weak-minded men who do not even know, for instance, how to control their emotions. Okay, that's one. But two, who are also weak when it comes to actually asserting their masculinity, asserting themselves in a relationship with a woman. They are too timid because they are so worried about what society will think or what people around will think, instead of ensuring that they put the woman in check. With my experience now with an abusive female, knowing that a woman could do this, with all the years of experience I've had, over 10 years of interacting with a woman who was definitely deliberately abusive, I have learned now that the best thing for me to do is prevent it from happening. I'm always on the alert now, and I'm going to be doing some t-shirts where I'm going to write on my back, before you hit me, think twice. No matter how aggrieved you get, before you hit me, think twice. Because I don't have to slap you back, but that hand that is coming towards my face, I could do a lot of things to it, including probably bend it so badly you'll not be able to use it for some hours. So I have begun to train myself now to respond in that manner. The minute I see a slap coming to my face, it will not arrive on my cheek. That is for sure. So that's one thing I think people should do. But however, it's not all men are not made the same. That's what the woman in one of the videos I talked about said. Not all men are the same. Some men some men are brought up in an environment where men don't hold back. They give it to you the way you give it to them. And believe me, if you have the guts to raise your hand to a man, knowing he has the ability physically to destroy you, if you have the guts to raise your hand because you think people are going to run around to help you, maybe other men are there and you think they are all those kind of what we call simps who want to come around and try and save the day and be the heroes, you could just get both yourself and those men are going to kind of step up for you into serious trouble and probably get yourselves injured as well, because not all men will take that kind of thing lying low. And this,
give me the copies. You know where I should be. You know where I should be right now. You know where I should be. Don't tell me shit. Don't tell me shit. Don't tell me shit. Give me these car keys and go. Don't tell me shit. Told you that I do not even want to be like sound. I told you that. I want the car keys. I want to go fetch my bag. I want to go fetch my bag.
But èmi mo láyé now. Madam no sùúrù sí ẹ má fọwọ́ kàn mí.
Don't touch my babe. Don't touch my babe.
Yeah, just glasses me.
Àti babe wẹ̀. Ẹjọ́ máa fi babe rẹ̀. Fi babe rẹ̀. Èmi ló yẹ ṣẹ́sí. Mo máa náà kẹ́ mo máa fún ẹ̀kẹ́ o ìyálà ìgbà bàbá.
Rasta mo ti nu.
Ọkọ sì dànù ìwọ kọ́ ni jágunjágun tó kọ́ sí gbogbo nǹkan.
Rasta.
Kúrò mi
O ti lù wọ́n jù náà.
Ẹ̀ẹ́dìgbò ló kọ́kọ́ gbá mi lójú.
Rasta ò bá mọ́ nà tó bá wọn. Rasta mo bọ̀
Torí
ní.
gbóbìnrin ní òní kó mọ ìyáwó gbọ́.
Mo ti padà rí ẹjẹ́ ṣe dẹ́mu.
and this video, the reason why I share it, and I'm going to end with a slow motion version of it. The reason why I share this video, because I want people to understand that there are men who will respond in this manner. And the thing is, you never know which man is going to respond in this manner. You may just be taking somebody for granted based on appearances or past encounters where the man has held back. And then when he chooses to respond in this manner, who knows how yours will end? She was able to rearrange her hair, get up and just gently go and stand on the bar. But you may just end up landing in the fireplace or on top of something sharp, and you end up in the hospital or even completely unconscious or probably dead. because the man responded instantaneously in anger, and he was not holding back. The way he hit her, and like I said, if you noticed, with slow motion will show, she was completely taken off her feet. So before you slap a man, be careful, because even the man that was holding back yesterday may have already reached tipping point, and by the time you hit him the next morning, maybe he spent all night thinking of how you humiliated him yesterday when you hit him and he didn't respond, and he was thinking to himself, I just hope that doesn't happen, because if it does, I'm going to give her a piece. And then you do it again, and then he just goes ballistic. It happens, and then they try and blame the man. The thing is, it depends on what society you are in. It also depends on what society the gentleman is from. But women, before you hit a man, if at all you think it's justified for you to do so, think carefully about this, what you see in this video. Because if that man turns out to be this kind of man, you may live to regret it, if at all you live. I hope you understand what I'm saying. And if you have a son, please see how you can tell them or encourage them not to respond in this manner. Because to be honest with you, this guy could have killed her. If you have a daughter, train them to exercise restraint. No matter how upset you are, nothing gives you the right to raise your hand and hit anybody. Like I said, you never know what state of mind the person you're going to hit is in, and he has no obligation to obey the rules in that society. It doesn't matter if you obeyed them yesterday. He has a right to defend himself. You have no right to go around hitting people. But many of today's modern women, especially those influenced by the West, think they have a right to go around hitting people. I'm saying it based on a personal experience I've had, and I know how it would have turned out if I'd chosen to be like this man. I'll probably have killed the woman that I had kids with. But I'm glad I was able to exercise restraint all those years till I eventually separated from her. I'm just saying that there are some men who will not exercise such restraint, and that woman could end up dead. This is a real message I feel is important to send. I told my daughters about this video. I told them I wanted to do some commentary on it, and it's that version with the commentary I'm sending out even to my daughters, because I want them to understand. Not all men will follow what society expects. Oh, you're just a woman. Not all men think that way. It could literally destroy you if you ever try to do that, because what you're trying to do is emasculate that man. You hit him knowing that people are going to stop him from hitting back. You're trying to humiliate the man. Not everybody will accept that. I hope you found this useful. If you have questions, reach out to me using the contact details on your screen. I wish you well.